This is a presentation of the Sports Source Digital Network, presented by Hearthside Bank.
Welcome into the Sports Source Digital Network. I've been chatting with these guys all week. Bob Hodge, Will West, thank you for joining me again. I want to talk right now about the guy I think is the most unlucky coach in the Southeastern Conference, Josh Heupel. And here's why I say that. And I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, well, the rules are the rules, and that's true. But in terms of luck, the guy finishes sixth in the nation in 2022, and it's a 4-team playoff. They then decide, we're going to go to 12 teams. All right, so now you would have been in, but they changed the rule after you had that great year. So on your resume, you're not going to be able to say, but I went to 2 playoffs. Nope, you've only got 1. All right, so fast forward. You get into the playoffs, but because of some goofball seeding system that they put in place, you have to go to Ohio State, and you get drubbed by the eventual national champion. Now, after that happens, they're changing the seeding to be more of a straight seeding format. If they had had that last year, Tennessee would have been at home against SMU in the first round, an SMU team that got crushed by Clemson in its last ACC game and then got blown out by Penn State in the playoff game. So more than likely, you probably beat SMU. And if you'd won that game, you'd have gone to Georgia, which would have been playing their first game without Carson Beck, who got hurt in the SEC title game. You would have had a chance, a puncher's chance there, of being in the semifinals. Only because, so he would have had an extra playoff bid. There's no question about that. He would have had that. You would have had SMU, you would have had a home game, probably beaten, you'd probably have one win. Maybe, you'd have had a better chance against Georgia down there with their backup than you would have with Carson Beck, who they took care of you. I just think that's some damn bad luck.
It is.
I mean, that's a bad break.
No, it's really bad luck. And I would, part of this is that everybody's following Greg Sankey, and I think Greg Sankey was so right about everything with COVID. I think he's been wrong about damn near everything since. And so going to a 12-team playoff, when you went to a 12-team playoff, they should have expanded it. Remember what Greg Sankey said. Greg Sankey said, we're fine staying where it is. The SEC dominates the playoff. Unless we get the exact system we want, we don't need to expand the playoff. Tennessee gets burned on that one. Then Greg Sankey's the one that said, no. We need these conference champions to have the bye because we want to make sure Alabama gets the bye or whoever it is that wins the conference gets the guaranteed bye. And then Tennessee gets burned by that as well. I don't think it's just that Tennessee's unlucky. It just was unlucky for Tennessee.
Yeah. No, I think
Greg Sankey's dropped the ball a lot.
I think here's what's going to happen. Tennessee will finish 4th in the SEC this year, but they won't be guaranteed 4
3
spots.
teams get
The next year,
the
SEC will be guaranteed that 4th spot, and Tennessee will probably finish 5th. So no, I think there is a bad element of bad luck, and even though that 22 team would have gone into a playoff without Hendon Hooker, I really liked that team, and who knows what would have happened since you had your backup quarterback.
They still beat up Clemson in what was
but
basically.
I mean, that is unlucky.
Now both teams would have had. You would have had Jalen Hyatt, who left early. They would have had a couple of really good defensive players who quit early. If you had played, but that is a level. Even with Joe Milton, you beat up Clemson pretty easily. That second half you pulled away from them. I'm with you. You take that into the 2022 playoffs, even without him.
And maybe if you have that system, that Clemson game, just played, right down the road over at Neyland Stadium, which is another thing. And that's what I hate about what happened last year, because I was glad Tennessee made the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I thought a home playoff game or a home game at that time in December would have just been fun. I think it would have just been a fun thing. So that's
would have been the biggest moment in the history of
gets unlucky is you miss out on that extra home game.
And I would say this too. The abundance mentality side of that is you got some bad breaks. You've overcome those bad breaks, and you're really trending in a great direction right now. And you made the playoff this past year. And so I think there's still, if you're a Tennessee fan, how I would look at it is, we still overcame. Even though none of the breaks have gone our way, we have still overcome this and been able to get into the playoff and have the program in the right direction.
But going back to the bad luck with the playoff, you didn't overcome going to Ohio State.
You did not.
I mean, you'd have gotten to have SMU at home versus going to Ohio State.
And then Georgia not playing Ohio State.
Yeah, you'd have played Georgia down there without their starting quarterback in their first game, which they did not. who was Notre Dame beat them?
Yeah. Also, you didn't face the team that beat everyone like they stole something too. Like Ohio State was just a different level team.
Yeah.
And that's where you had to go.
Well, they were ticked off after that Michigan loss. And in the past, we talked about it last year. We don't want to relitigate that thing, but in the past, when they lost to Michigan, they would go on and lose their bowl game. Last year was a different beast. They looked like they wanted to take everybody's heads off because they lost to Michigan. But anyway, I just think that's an interesting deal in terms of being a bad break for Josh Heupel. You want as much stuff in the bank as possible for when you do have
when the tough times get
exactly.
here.
If this is an 8-win season, and no one wants to hear that, could be worse. But if this is an 8-win season, people are going to be calling for his head. Well, we've seen enough. We know he's not the guy.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have had as many people saying that kind of stuff. Whenever the bad times come, and all coaches have bad times, whenever the bad times come, you would be able to say 2 playoff bids,
and a
playoff win,
yeah,
home game. You don't get that solely because the system
Maybe you do beat Georgia, and that streak is off the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
because I'm guessing if he's in trouble this year, it's not going to be because the Georgia streak came to an end.
No, exactly. All right, I thought that was interesting that every time Tennessee is this close, they then change the rules to where, if
you would have been in.
You'd have been in. You'd have gotten a home game. You'd have had a better seating situation, of better pairings in the setup. So, bad break for Josh Heupel, unluckiest coach in the SEC. Bob Hodge, Will West, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on the Sports Source Digital Network. Click like, leave a comment, subscribe.